Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland, this is for you.
What's going on, Cavs fans? Welcome to another very heartbreaking, sad edition of the Block, the Shot, the Stop. I'm Skyler Webker. He's Kevin Litch. And Kevin, that sucked. That sucked so hard right there. The Cavs lose to the Pacers 120 to 119 on a last-second three-point heave from Tyrese Haliburton. And fall 0-2 on the series against the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, heartbreaking is the only word that comes to mind. This is a game that the Cavs are without Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, and DeAndre Hunter, which we'll touch on, but let's talk about the game first. But in spite of those three not playing, the Cavs gave about as good an effort as you possibly could. They came out of the gate flying around. They're up 17 at the end of the first quarter. Contributions from all over the place, led by Donovan Mitchell, who was phenomenal. And we'll get into him and the individuals. This game was not this heartbreaking loss was no player's fault. It was just really, really tough circumstances coming in. And then frankly, the Cavs had trouble executing down the stretch, where it was one of those where if they make one out of like 5 or 6 plays the last minute or two, they probably win the game. And the Pacers made every one of them. So
yeah, and I think it feels extra heavy because the Cavs really didn't have any heartbreaking losses this season. I guess maybe the one against the Rockets when Darius Garland kind of choked at the free throw line to end the game. But outside of that, you haven't really had any heartbreaking losses this season. And to get that at this point in the playoff seat, you're already down 1-0, getting stunned the first game of the season. You come back shorthanded, feeling great through the first, 47 minutes of the game.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. I don't, it's almost a game that it sucks so much that you don't want to talk negative about any one in particular. And there are some negatives and everything. But the truth is the Cavs played as well as they could have and got like so above and beyond expectation performances from Donovan Mitchell, especially. I mean, but Jared Allen, Max Strus, Sam Merrill, phenomenal. Dean Wade, phenomenal. Like these guys, they're playing with a short deck, and yeah, it sucks. So I don't know, Skyler, should we go through the whole game, or should we just talk about the end and then go back?
we can go through the whole game. I think that's the best way to kind of paint the picture of like why it sucks so much, because it felt like the entire game the Cavs had the momentum. They kept pace. They kept control of this game from tip to about that final minute. At one point the lead was up to about 20, which is great, and seeing how they are fully healthy. We have 3 of our key guys out. So to be up that big, and you could tell they were really getting inside the Pacers' heads. Donovan Mitchell was putting on an absolute clinic through today. I mean, what do you even finish at? 48 points? Okay, 48 points on 36 minutes, 15 of 30 from the floor. Didn't shoot that well from the three-point line. Just 1 of 7 there, but 17 of 21 from the free throw line. I mean, he was getting and ones. He was getting to the bucket. He caught a few bodies tonight. I mean, this is what you want Donovan Mitchell for.
Yeah, and Donovan was incredible, and he was incredible from the jump, as you said. The Cavs actually had a 17-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Donovan had 12 points in the first quarter. Sam Merrill had 9. He came out just flames throwing. The defense was swarming all over the place. Dean Wade grabs 4 rebounds in 8 minutes in the first quarter. I felt like he was all over, the defensive floor and everything. And everything looked great and kind of progressing forward. The Pacers made a little bit of a run in the second quarter, but the Cavs did a pretty good job holding them off. Pacers were +6 in the second quarter, but Cavs still have a double-digit lead going into halftime. And at that point, you're feeling pretty good. And then start of third quarter, like you said, go ahead with the start of third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the start of third quarter, Donovan Mitchell was incredible. I mean, just from there, I mean, that's when the lead really ballooned up to about 20.
Yeah, it was 20. It was 20 halfway through the third quarter. I think it was 81-61. Yeah,
and like I said, he was just getting to the paint. 21 trips to the free throw line, making 17 of them, which is I'll take that. I'll take 17 free points. But to pair along with that, he had 9 assists and 4 steals. He had a block, 5 rebounds. I mean, he was doing everything he possibly could to kind of put this team on his back and keep it in a positive manner throughout the whole game. And he got a lot of help from guys like you led into with Jared Allen and Max Strus, who Max Strus got switched on to Miles Turner quite a lot and really held his own against Miles Turner, who also had a great night. But Max Strus defensively was really, really solid.
Yeah, they were really good defensively, especially in the first half. Like you said, some key stuff in the positive for the third quarter. Mitchell in the third quarter alone has 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Jared Allen also 10 points, 4 rebounds in the second quarter. Those two were just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, all game, but especially the third quarter really stood out for both of them. I thought a backbreaker was, and actually the same thing that happened in game one. The Pacers hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer of the third quarter when, the Cavs were, had outplayed them in the third quarter, had increased the lead. The lead was going to be, I think, 17 going into the fourth quarter. They hit that 3, cut it to 14. You still feel good about a 14-point lead, but just something about hitting that 3, going into or right at the buzzer of the third quarter, going into the fourth, just not only for the score, but the momentum and everything. Turner hit one in game one. I'm pretty sure it was Neesmith in this game. It was backbreaker.
Yeah, the backbreaker, and honestly, that's just kind of how the Pacers play. They play till the buzzer. I mean, they don't. Doesn't matter if it's 1 second left, half a second left. They play it down to the buzzer. And hey, they did it again tonight with down to the buzzer. The Cavs were up 119-112 with 56 seconds left in the game, and they lost 119-120.
But
which
I was going to say, just backing up just a little bit before that, going into the fourth quarter was huge. The first 5 minutes, that's a lot of which was when they're resting Donovan Mitchell. Actually, to bring him in a little bit early. I think they're resting him and Jared Allen at the same time, which you can kind of say maybe they couldn't do tonight, but they're both resting. And as I said, the Cavs had a 14-point lead going to the third quarter. The Pacers go on a 12-3 run to start the corner, cut it to a 5-point game a few minutes in. So goes from a, not, you never want to say comfortable, but feeling good about yourselves, double-digit lead to with 7 minutes to go, it's a 5-point game. And then it's just, back and forth the whole way until that last minute, as you said. And you said it's the Pacers scored the last 8 points of the game. The Cavs were up 7 with 50-something seconds left, and
56 seconds or something.
56,
like that.
Yeah, 56 seconds left, and couldn't execute defensively or, frankly, getting the ball in bounds. It really ended up being the thing that killed them there at the end tonight.
Yeah, you'd love to save that timeout, get the ball in bounds, save that timeout, and keep yourself, a little safety there as the game's starting to slip away. But Some other just key contributions tonight. You said that Dean Wade was great tonight. I mean, he didn't particularly have the scoring numbers, but I don't know if we ever really expected that from him. But just defensively, he was great. I mean, he grabbed 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and was really good defensively against Pascal Siakam, who all-star. So I credit to Dean Wade tonight for putting in a huge solid performance on a night that we really, really needed him to step up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, is backbreaking as this loss is, be remiss if you didn't call out almost everyone that played. Really, like, the effort was just off the charts. We did not get a good Ty Jerome game tonight.
Last night.
But I like, and it's not just because I'm the head of his fan club. I don't want to feel like I'm picking on him, because I thought just the effort, and I thought winning this game would have been so incredible. And the fact that they frankly had the game in hand, I actually think it was the Pacers' only lead of the night was when Haliburton hit that 3 to go up with 1.1 seconds left. But yeah, you said Max was incredible. Jared Allen, incredible. Sam Merrill was really good. Actually thought Sam could have maybe got a few more minutes that we needed his offense in the fourth quarter. I think he only played, he played 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. It kind of felt like maybe he could have been in there a little bit more. Dean Wade, as you said, we were just phenomenal. Couldn't, would have loved to see him knock down 1 or 2 more shots, but he was all over the place. I thought Isaac Okoro was so good defensively. And, when Haliburton scored, the 6 points in the last 30 seconds, Okoro wasn't in the game for good reason. Kenny was trying to go back and forth between his offensive lineup and frankly his free throw shooting lineup and then his defensive lineup. But there was just times that he couldn't sub or, didn't want to sub at the risk of having bad free throw shooters in the game. Like that was a huge thing at the end with the Pacers getting that offensive rebound, Haliburton getting it. Part of me is like, why isn't Dean Wade in the game? Dean Wade has 10 rebounds in 29 minutes tonight. He's, your best rebounder on playing tonight other than Jared Allen. Why isn't he in? Why are you counting on Max Strus to box out Pascal Siakam or Miles Turner? But their answer is Dean's a really bad free throw shooter. They didn't want him to get the rebound and then get sent to the line. So, yeah, man, God, this one, I was ready to be just so pumped about this win and about the effort that they gave. And it's so heartbreaking, but I don't want to discount they had a championship effort tonight. Now they did not win the game, and not winning the game tonight puts a serious dent in their chances of moving on and getting to a championship. But every player that played tonight gave a championship effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like you said, it puts a dent in their effort, but it's not over. Like, I didn't hear a bell. Yeah. Like, they play a series for a reason. They'll get a lot of their guys back, hopefully. It sounded like Darius Garland was pretty close. They're just not quite ready to pull that trigger. I think they'll have at least DeAndre Hunter back. I think Evan Mobley is probably the only one that might not make it to the next game also. But they'll have their guys back, and sometimes you gotta face the adversity, and credit to the Pacers. Like they're in the Eastern Conference Finals last year for a reason. Right. They didn't get there by accident.
Yeah. It is. And I'm going to preface this, not making an excuse or saying this is why they lost the game, but we do have to talk about the guys that were missing tonight and what the Cavs were missing in them not being able to be on the floor. To give you an idea, Mobley, Garland, and Hunter, how good of players they are. I actually looked up the Ringer did an update to their top 100 players in the NBA. Mobley was 13th, Garland was 32nd, and Hunter was 78th. So you're talking about 3 of the top 78 players in the NBA who are unavailable for you tonight. And all 3 of them are incredible contributions. I actually think Garland might be the one they're missing the most, even more than Mobley. And my reasoning is because they only really have two ball handlers playing in Mitchell and Jerome, and the fact that Jerome was so off offensively tonight and to a lesser extent in game one, they can't take advantage of one of their biggest advantages on offense, and that's attacking Tyrese Haliburton. You watch the Pacers defense. They fought through every screen and made sure either Nesmith or Nembhard were on Mitchell the whole game. And you say Mitchell had 48 points. I don't know if a guy's ever worked harder for 48 points in the entirety of basketball. Those guys are incredible defensively, and they're hiding Haliburton on, on Okoro, on Dean Wade, on, he's playing Jerome some tonight, and Jerome just couldn't take advantage of it. If Garland's in the game, you can manipulate it so Garland or Mitchell is going at Haliburton quite a bit. And to not have Garland available to be able to take advantage of that is a backbreaker for the Cavs for these first two games.
Yeah, and then, like I said, hopefully we have Darius Garland back, because he wasn't there for the last two games in Miami. Kind of got the extra break because of the clean sweep. Missed the first two games here. You got to think he's probably close. I saw a lot of reports that he was running on treadmill today, which if he's able to run, then you're feeling pretty good about what he's able to do on the court. So hopefully, all this to say, I hope to God that we have Darius Garland back, especially as we head into Cambridge Field Arena.
Yep, I sure hope so. What I hope happens out of this is that the Cavs are so encouraged. Like, honestly, game one, both of these games were very deflating, but game one was deflating because the Cavs played so bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cavs played well tonight for the most part. Again, had some trouble executing down the stretch. One or two guys didn't have great offensive games, but for the most part, they played an overall, I would say, very good game tonight. They just were missing some pieces and, didn't execute in the fourth quarter. And, if the game was 47 minutes and 30 seconds, the Cavs win. and the Pacers never have a lead the whole game. It was, everything had to go wrong, meaning the Cavs didn't execute and the Pacers did that last minutes for them to even have a chance at winning that game in regulation. And Pacers credit, they made every single play. The Cavs unfortunately didn't make theirs. And now they face a real uphill climb. Is it possible, especially if they get their guys back? Of course. I think home court matters less in the NBA nowadays than it ever has, even at awesome arenas like Cleveland and Indiana both have. But my hope is that they take out of this game, we should have beat them without three of the top 78 players in the NBA. And if we can get at least one or two of those guys back, there's no reason we can't make this series real competitive, if not win.
I agree. I think you get these guys back, and like I said, I didn't hear a bell. Right? They ain't giving up. And it makes you feel better just kind of looking around the NBA. Boston lost their first game to the Knicks. OKC lost their first game to Denver. So it's not like it's only happening to Cleveland. These other top teams are dropping games, which is unfortunate that it's happening now, but it happens. It's the NBA.
Yeah, it is. And this is not to be pessimistic or anything. The difference is, well, one, the Cavs have dropped two, and those teams only dropped one. So that's the difference.
They haven't played two yet.
Yeah. The other is just how beat up the Cavs are. And it hurts so bad that the Cavs are this beat up because they did everything all season long to keep this from happening. Just managing guys' minutes, load managing at appropriate times. Like I was reading articles about how, the Cavs coaching staff is using sports science to rest the whole rest guys when their risk of injury goes up, meaning whether that's less minutes in a single game, taking the fourth game in 5 nights off, things like that. And then, you just get bad luck and it doesn't matter. And 3 of your key guys are out in game 2 against the Indiana Pacers. So, all that is really, really unfortunate, and this Pacers team is really good. They are really good. I really respect them, except for Ben Mathern. I don't really respect him at all. But Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nebhart, incredible players. Miles Turner's been good for a long time. Tyrese Haliburton's really good. Pascal Siakam, so I don't think there's any shame in losing to this Pacers team, but just the Cavs need to have some fight in them. If they make this kind of effort again in Game 3, I think they have a very good chance of winning, especially if they're able to get any healthier.
Yeah, I mean, the healthier they get, that's the key thing. I think talent-wise, the Cavs definitely have the better talent. I don't think anybody could really argue that. But they're well coached. They're, like I said, they are an Eastern Conference Finals team last year for a reason. They didn't kind of luck their way into that. They play hard. They play very physical. I mean, that's kind of why a lot of these guys are beat up. That's why DeAndre Hunter is beat up. That's why Evan Mobley's sprained ankle. That's why I hope to God nothing is wrong with Donovan Mitchell. As kind of the end of that game, he was starting to get beat up. Like you said, he was working really hard out there to
he
get in the baskets and a lot of contact.
And I think that's what's the loss is certainly the most discouraging thing, but just the fact that they already have so many guys missing. Mitchell can't get off the floor, a couple of times, getting banged around. Jared Allen is hurting. You can tell he took that super hard fall in Game 1, probably right on like a hip or lower back, and he's hurting. So it's kind of like, yes, it's certainly the combination of losing 2 games and being without guys, and even guys that are out there are beat up, and it just, but this team's done it all year, right? They found a way. We just got to figure out a way to get Game 3, and then you're off and running. Then you're back in the series.
Exactly. You win to Game 3. I mean, ideally, if you get these guys back, you have a shot at winning Game 3 and Game 4. Now you're tied at the series. Your home field advantage, as we just said, doesn't really matter. But you kind of feel better about that. We all kind of knew that this series was going to go to 6. I was kind of being optimistic, saying it was going to go to 5. But we all kind of knew it was going to go to 6. I think we just thought we'd get to 6 in a different way, or at least a different sequence.
Yeah, I would say so. But a couple things I did want to call, and yes, the guys missing are part of this, particularly Garland. But the Cavs are shooting 26% on threes in this series, in these 2 games. It's just not going to get it done, especially when Indiana's shooting, I think, 45%-ish, something like that. Do some quick math here. But they
shot about 40% tonight, or 39% tonight.
Yeah, they are shooting 47% in these 2 games. So like 47% versus 26% on threes. That's a huge variance. And the Cavs, a lot of the things that the Cavs didn't do well in Game 1, they corrected and did well tonight, but the 3-point shooting was unfortunately just as bad. It didn't feel as bad, but in the end, it was statistically.
I think it's because they masked it as much as they could. They weren't so reliant on the three ball this game as they were the first game. But yeah, like I said, Donovan Mitchell only hit 1 tonight. Sam Merrill probably hit, and Max Strus, I think, hit the most from tonight's game. Let me go back.
Yes, Max hit 5. He is 5 of 12. Sam was 4 of 9. The rest of the team was
2
not
for
good. 2 for 18.
Woof.
Yeah.
I guess what adjustments are you looking for them to make as they, go into Indiana? Let's just say with the assumption that you have Darius Garland for this game.
Darius Garland changes this equation, because the the Pacers, like one reason that I talked about is they can take advantage of Haliburton on defense if they have multiple ball handlers on the floor. The other thing is they can't play nearly as aggressively, Naismith and Nembhard, if Garland's there, because Garland's going to be the fastest guy on the court that can go by them. They overplay Garland. He's in the paint before they blink. So having Garland, I think, completely changes this equation, and he's arguably the Cavs' best 3-point shooter. So it'd be great to get another really good 3-point shooter on the floor, especially when he's probably going to be taking minutes of guys who struggled tonight shooting. So you have Darius Garland. It does makes you a little bit weaker defensively, because he's the one kind of small guy other than TJ McConnell, but he one kind of small guy in the series. They'll look to take advantage of him, but I think his potential to exploit the Pacers when the Cavs are on offense will far outweigh that.
I agree. I think if they get Darius Garland back, I think the offense, we know that he would be a big jump on the offense, not only in the scoring, but just the facilitation, the ball movement, everything else that he provides to let others score and give others great opportunities to score. The other piece that I think will help is defensively, because then they're not going to be forcing Jared Allen to go guard on the 3-point line like they were a lot in game 1 and a little bit more tonight. But I do think getting Darius Garland back will be a huge, huge boost to kind of this entire team scheme.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we probably won't know until an hour or so before tip off on Friday. I'm sure, both because they're going to do everything they can to get him to play, and obviously, teams always play coy with injuries. Like, there's no reason not to. So I'm sure none of us will know for sure until within the last hour before the game Friday night. But it would be really nice if they got at least some combination of those 3 guys back, if not all of them.
Yeah, that would be great. So before we get out of here, I'm going to acknowledge, Kenny Atkinson winning the Coach of the Year. That was announced. I don't know if you guys have covered it last time, but he actually got his trophy at practice today. Well deserved. I think the voting wasn't all that close, and I said in our preseason predictions. This is what I got right, that the Cavs would have 2 major award winners this year. We got that in our Defensive Player of the Year and the Coach of the Year.
Yeah, obviously very, very well deserved for Kenny. And I actually think for the most part, they got the voting right. I'm actually trying to look at like exactly the finish. I know JB was second, Udoka was third, Mark Dagnall was fourth, which I think that's the one thing, like the Thunder were the best team in the NBA this year by record and frankly by eye test. And, just because he won last year kind of makes him ineligible. It's just how these NBA awards work. It's so goofy. But yeah, Kenny certainly well deserved, the way he overhauled the offense, the way he overhauled the culture on this team, and really had some key guys kind of grow their games, in particular Evan Mobley and Ty Jerome and guys like that. And the way he kind of worked with Donovan Mitchell to kind of model his game after what the team needed. I think Kenny incredibly well deserved. It's hard to celebrate it on a night like this, but we will at another time. Kenny definitely deserves it. Yeah, there you go. I think the order is about right. Like the only just Mark Dagnall, this Thunder were so good, but it's so weird that he won last year, so he was kind of an afterthought. That's why he only got 2 first place votes, only 7 second place votes. It's always about how you took a team that was pretty good to awesome or bad to good, not like you had a very good team and you made them even better.
Consistently good.
Right. But the other thing is that I mentioned, Kobe Altman did not win Executive of the Year. That actually went to Sam Presti, which shockingly was first time Sam Presti won Executive of the Year. And it's hard to argue with that guy winning Executive of the Year, the job he has done in Oklahoma City to craft the team they have and the treasure chest of assets that they have to move. I mean, no team in the history of the NBA has been in a better position to win now and win in the future. But, you know, it's one of those things. I think Presti should have won a couple of times already, and then this would have been Kobe Altman's year to win. But it's hard to argue. Hard to argue with Sam Presti. Sam Presti winning that award, though Kobe Altman was certainly deserving as well, and had a very good showing. You know, second place, not too far behind. Really great year and last several years for Kobe Altman.
Yes, second place finish, you know, fine. I think it's like you said, it's because the Cavs built this team slowly and the many years of buildup. And to anybody that hasn't listened, we had a whole rundown of how the Cavs were built, and I would advise anybody to go back and check that out because we did a lot of homework going into that one. But just the slow build and slow burn of taking this team that had a LeBron-sized hole in its roster to where it is now. I think that's something that gets overshadowed in these awards in the sense of, you know, they're looking at one specific year, not to lead it up into the year where I think Oklahoma we knew they'd be good. I don't know if anybody saw them being the best in the West good though.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say their year shocked me. And like I said, if certain Thunder players, coaches, executives win awards, it's well deserving. That franchise is in a phenomenal place, had an incredible year. So you can't really fault that. But awesome that Kenny won. Awesome that Kobe Altman was recognized as doing an incredible job and finished second to who, in my opinion, has been the best executive in the NBA the last decade. Yeah, I don't know. I guess at least we won something today, and just not the one we wanted.
Do you think Rob Pelinka's first place vote was solely because of the Luka trade?
I think Nico Harrison voted for him.
Oh, shoot. So with that, we'll get out of here. We'll be back on Friday, win or lose. We'll be out. We'll be here. If you're checking us out for the first time, please give us a like, a thumbs up. If you're on your audio platform of choice, please subscribe so that we can kind of keep giving this great content. And, you know, talk to us online. Talk to us in the comments. We're Cavs fans, and we want to make a show for Cavs fans. So tell us how we can do that and be better. And we'd love to interact with you guys. So for that, he's Kevin Lynch. I'm Skylar Webker. We'll get back at it on Friday. The sky is not falling, and we'll get on out of here.
Go Cavs.